Hi friends, this is Lokesh. Welcome to Testing Tutorials Point. Today we are going to discussing about what is sanity testing. Sanity testing is performed on a stable build and it is also known as a variation of regression testing. One kind of regression testing we can able to say like when the build is stable, then we are going to do this sanity testing. And sanity testing were performed when we are receiving a software build with the minor code changes from the deployment team. Like you can see the previous video, I explained like a smoke testing, which is a new functionality added, and then we are going to test a smoke testing, right? This is also one kind of thing, but when we are finding a defects and those defects are is coming, that defects we are going to check with the minor changes that we are going to test as a smoke testing. It is checkpoint to access if testing for the build can process or not proceed or not. We are going to check, like there are checkpoints. If next level of testing we can able to do it or not. The in other way we can able to say, like we can say that a sanity testing is performed to make sure that all the defects have been solved and no added issues some into to the process because of this modification. Like in case there are some modifications happen, but due to that modification, that defect, and it is not any impacted to the previous things, those things we are going to test. And also that defects with the minor or major things are critical or blockers things, those things when it is coming, right, that also we are going to test using this sanity testing. Here, sanity testing also ensuring that the modification in the code or functions does not affect the associated modules, and consequently it can be applied only connected modules that can be impacted. It is like if module A is there, module B is there, and there are many major changes happen, and we are going to do that sanity testing here and connected both, right? In this also we are going to test there is no impact on that. That way we can able to test this sanity testing. Basic objective, like we can say, like a primary aim of execution, that sanity testing is to define that the planned features working perfectly expected, and if the sanity testing fails, the build is refused to save that cost and time complex and more severe tested. Like in case if everything like all the codes and planned features and everything is working as expected, then what we can able to say, like sanity testing working as expected, we can go for next step. And in case the build is failed and the cost we are going to reduce, right? Like if we are not finding in the sanity time, we are going to next level of testing, then again the cost of defect is more. That way we can able to, like smoke testing also same, but smoke testing new feature. Here major modification defects and also stable build we are going to find it. And that execution of the sanity testing makes sure the new modification does not changes the software current functionalities. And what are the modification happens, right, those things does not impact that which is the old functionalities are present, that should not be impact. It is also validation that occurs of the newly added features and components. Basic attributes, like we can able to say narrow and deep. We are going to test here is narrow and deep. How can, right? Sanity testing is a narrow and deep method. We are limited components are protected deeply, which is a limited things, right? In the smoke testing also we are going to getting limited things which are main functionality. So here also we can able to select main functional components and that are protected deeply, and we are going to test subcategories of regression testing. This is a one kind of subcategory for the regression testing. Unscripted sanity testing is not a scripted one, it's unscripted, we can able to do it. Are not documented, we sanity testing cannot be documented. It's a normal way we can able to performed by a test engineer. The sanity testing performed by test QA member only. Sanity testing process, like sanity testing is also check the incorrect outcomes or defects which are not existing in component producers, and ensuring that the newly added features may not be affected to the functionality of current features. We can ever say three: identification, evaluation, and test. These three things we are going to doing this sanity testing places. Identification is like we detecting the newly added components and features, and as well as modification presented in a code well, fixing the bug. Those things we are going to identify, we are testing. Evaluation: implemented components, attributes, and modification them to check their in standard and appropriate working as per the given requirement, which is the implemented components and attributes, everything is there, and also modified modules are code, and those things, appropriate things are given, it is working as expected for the given requirement or not. And testing team, what will happen? Identification evaluation steps, once it is successful, there is no impact, there is no thing, then what will happen, the next step we are going to testing for that component, parameters and components and oscillations, and analyzing the attributes and modified them to make sure that they are working fine, which are the components and everything is there, right? Based upon the parameters and components, it is working as expected and it is working fine or not, we are going to test here. when we do when do we need to perform sanity testing? This is a narrow regression testing and specify area of components, we are going to test this one. And also it need to be satisfy cases, the few cases we are going to discuss now. It's a case one, basically sanity testing whenever there is an improvement in functionality of specified software. In case there are some improvements are present in the functionalities, then we are going to do. And another way, like case two, and the bugs have been fixed. Some bugs, whenever the bugs are coming in, that fixes or new feature added, we need to perform sanity testing in order to check whether the application is still working fine or not. This case also we can able to test the bugs, right? And also new functionality added and performing sanity testing, whether it is application working as expected or not. That way we are going to test. In these two condition times, we are going to test using sanity testing for that particular build. Here are some advantages, like it helps us to find any deployments or compliance issues, and it is a less expressions and compared to other type of software testings. It help it helps in rapid finding that bugs in core functionality ways. There is no documentation mandatory for sanity testing. That's why it can be executed in lesser time. You can able to, there is no documentation, right? We can able to execute fast because there is no documentation. We can able to pick main functionality, we can able to do it fastly. And execution of the sanity testing will help us to save unnecessary testing effort and time, because we are going to starting time only, right? We can able to reduce time time and effort for the QA member. Sanity testing help us to detecting and the missing dependent objects. What are the missing dependents present there, right? Those things also we can able to help and test in sanity testing place. It's a disadvantage also presented in this feature, like it becomes a very complex process for the developer to understand how to fix the defects knowledge throughout the sanity testing if they do not follow the design structures level. When the company to company design structures are different, in case if they are not following and if they are not understanding that design structure, then maybe it is difficult to do it. All the test cases are not covered under sanitary testing. We are not covering all test coverages, and it is only estimated and functional of application. What are the estimated we are doing, right? That functionalities we are going to test here, and we do not have a future to refuse since the sanitary testing is unscripted. We are not scripted this one, right? Unscripted we are doing, and it become a complex process to find any other component, as a sanitary testing is executed only for some limited features. We are going to do a limited set of executions we are going to do. That's all about this sanity testing. And if you like this video, please like my video and please subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.